All right, everybody, welcome back. Today, we're diving into the world of putting, and let's be honest, who couldn't use a few less putts per round, right?
Absolutely. Putting is often overlooked, but can make or break your scorecard.
Exactly. So we're going to explore this idea of Puttalyze, which is like a whole concept and even an app to help you sink more putts.
And you might be surprised to learn that consistent speed in your putting stroke is actually more critical for long-term success than, holing every single putt.
Really. I have to admit, I'm definitely one of those golfers who gets caught up in making every putt.
Yeah, so it's a common thing, for sure. But even the pros, they don't make every putt. Their secret weapon, consistency. Think about it. The ideal speed for a ball to reach the hole is about 1 mile there.
1 mile error. Seriously.
Yeah.
That seems unbelievably slow. How can you even judge that consistently?
Yeah, it does seem counterintuitive, but when you hit a putt, it looks like it's going in, perfect speed, and it just like lips out.
Yeah.
That's where this whole effective hole size thing comes in.
Okay, so break down effective hole size for us. What is it?
So at that sweet spot, about 1 mile per hour, which is like roughly 3 revolutions per second, the ball has a larger margin for error. It's like the hole actually gets bigger because the ball is losing momentum at just the right rate, meaning it's more likely to drop even if you're not perfectly on line.
Ah, okay. So I'm starting to see it's not just about getting the ball to the hole, it's about getting it there at the right speed.
Exactly. And the best part is, once you've mastered this consistent speed, you can start to accurately judge how much a putt will break and factor in how fast the greens are playing. It all builds on that solid foundation.
Got it. So I've nailed the speed, the ball's rolling nice and smooth, and then it takes this crazy curve I totally didn't expect. Is that where understanding the fall line comes in?
100%. That fall line, it's the area of greatest slope on the green, and it's key to predicting how much a putt will break. And the good news is there are some actually surprisingly simple ways to figure this out, both on and off the course.
All right, let's hear them. Give me all the secrets.
Well, one technique is visual estimation. You just walk around the green and really pay attention to how the land, dips and rises. Imagine those contours, almost like you're looking at a topographic map.
So trust my instincts, trust what my eyes are telling me.
Yeah. And another method, this one uses your feet. As you circle the hole, pay attention to when you feel yourself go from walking uphill to downhill. That subtle shift. That's your fall line.
Wow, so my body can actually feel the slope.
Yeah, it's like your body knows, right?
That's wild.
It is pretty cool. And you know what else is cool? Speaking of which, that Puttalyze app we mentioned earlier, it's got a built-in inclinometer.
Oh, wow. Okay, so this app can really help put this stuff into practice.
Think of it as a personal putting coach, right in your pocket. That built-in inclinometer. It measures the slope of the green, the angle of the fall line, everything. No more guesswork.
So it's like taking the guesswork out of those visual estimations we were just talking about. Sign me up for that.
And it gets even better. Puttalyze takes green speed and distance into account, and get this, it actually simulates a putt trajectory for you.
Wait, hold on. It can actually, like, predict the path of my putt before I even hit the ball.
Exactly. It shows you where to aim, the distance point, the speed the ball should be traveling at when it gets to the hole, everything. And it factors in those tricky variations in green speed. You know how some greens are lightning fast and others are like putting through molasses. It uses this cool thing called corrected length to adjust for that.
Okay, you lost me a little bit there. Corrected length. What is that?
I know it sounds kind of complicated, but it's actually pretty straightforward. The app figures out how long a putt would need to be on a totally flat surface to reach a specific distance on a slope, taking into account how fast the greens are playing, of course. So let's say you've got like a 10-foot putt uphill on a slow green. The app might tell you it'll actually play more like a 12-foot putt on a flat surface.
That's incredible. So it's like having a virtual reality simulation for putting.
That's a great way to put it. And the best part, it's all presented in a super user-friendly way. With visual graphs and diagrams,
Yeah.
you can actually see how it all works together.
This is blowing my mind. So are you saying it's not just about feel anymore? I can literally see the data behind each putt.
Exactly. And that's what I think is so cool about Puttalyze. It brings together the intuitive part of putting, the feel, with a more data-driven approach. You're basically combining art and science to sink more putts, lower your score.
Love that. But with all this tech and data, you still seem to be emphasizing consistent speed above all else. Why is that so important in the big picture?
Well, think about it. Consistent speed means you're eliminating all those unpredictable bounces and rolls. You're basically shrinking the size of the green, right, by taking away those wild variations in distance control. So you've got a much better chance of either sinking the putt outright or at least leaving yourself with a super easy second putt.
So less three putts. Now you're talking. But how does all this tie back into reading the green, understanding that break?
Here's the thing. You can only accurately judge how much a putt's going to break once you've got that consistent speed down. It's like if you're hitting putts with different speeds every time, you'll never get a feel for how the slope and the grain are actually impacting things.
It's like trying to solve a puzzle, but you're missing half the pieces.
Exactly. That consistent speed, that's your baseline. Get that dialed in, then you can start layering in green speed, fall line, all those little nuances that make putting so challenging and so rewarding, of course.
It sounds like everything really does build on those fundamentals.
Absolutely. And that's another area where Puttalyze can really help. It's like having a coach analyzing each putt, helping you fine-tune your technique. As you practice with the app, you'll start to develop that muscle memory, that intuitive feel for all those key variables.
So it's almost like the app is gamifying the whole process of learning and improving.
That's a great way to think about it. It keeps you engaged,
Mhm.
motivated to keep practicing. And the more you practice, the more all the stuff we've been talking about just becomes second nature out on the green.
It's really amazing how technology can, like, elevate even something as traditional as putting in golf.
It really is. Shows you there's always something new to discover, even in a game as old as golf.
I'm with you there. So as we start to wrap up our deep dive into the world of Puttalyze, what would you say are the biggest takeaways you want listeners to remember?
Well, I think the most important thing is that consistent putting speed we talk so much about. It's like the foundation, the bedrock of good putting. And of course, understanding that fall line. Master those two things and you'll see a huge improvement in your putting accuracy.
No more guessing games on the green. I like the sound of that.
Exactly. It's about understanding the physics, the science of it all, and using it to your advantage.
Sounds like Puttalyze gives you the tools, but it's up to each golfer to actually use them and, put in the work.
Exactly. And that brings up an interesting question as you continue on your putting journey. Are you going to trust your gut, or are you going to put your faith in the data?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I think it's probably a balance, right? Between your intuition and what the data's telling you.
I think you're right. There's no magic formula for putting. Everyone's different. It's about finding what works best for you. So get out there, try out, Puttalyze, experiment with these concepts, and most importantly, have fun on the green.
I love it. Great advice to end on. And that's a wrap on this deep dive. We'll catch you all in the next one.